So the last time I hit the studio was a few weeks ago, and one of the first people I met, remember Bryce from Stussy? Remember when Stussy was open? Like back at one point they was getting kind of old, and so they told me, like, Dad, we need to send you out. And at the time, this is when Barney's was open, okay? So I had to take Vic Mensa. You remember, like?
Yeah, I remember Vic Mensa.
It's easy to me how some people don't know Vic, even though they pushed him before Chance to the episode. What really happened is Vic wasn't ready, but neither was Chance, and Ye decided to push Vic out before Chance. Ye decided to push Vic first because Chance really wasn't ready. That's what actually messed him up. Bryce and Will from Stussy, they made me take Vic shopping because at the time I used to get on like 50% off at Barney. He's like, yo, Dad, I need one more thing. Comes right from town. He's like, yo, I need a skateboard and some Xanax, right? Randomest combination. I need some skateboard and a Xanax, right? I was like, all right, whatever. So this is the time like a nigga's young though, and so I'm like, you know, I gotta pay my dues. So all I'm expecting to do is just pull up to the hotel, drop it off, and I'm like, pay my dues kind of time, you know what I mean? Well, next thing you know, he's like, no, come up to Sonny's room. I'm like, who the fuck is Sonny? So I go up to the room, I look in, it's fucking Skrillex. Like, Sonny Skrillex, fucking big ass EDM DJ. This is, you know, different level. Like Skrillex is like top of, you know, EDM scene, and we all know the fucking ASAP Rocky joint, like, you know what I mean?
Oh, my soul, yeah.
So that nigga, you know, he kind of got a little more culture than him. So anyways, what happened is that Skrillex ended up overlooking me at first, right? But he had 3 Japanese girls with him. So when I walk past him and I go say hi to the girls, I start talking to the girls and he goes, what the fuck? You know Japanese? And basically, like, instantly, like, I guess some kind of value was created. So I ended up, like, staying for 2 days. Because he was like, let's go to lunch and dinner and this and that. So between, like, Vic just being hella cool, and Skrillex honestly being a super dope, like, just like a nice, like, humble guy, I ended up with him for a couple days. And I don't know if it was whether I could, like, translate for him. Because, you know, like, if you don't know what 3 girls are saying behind you, it can feel kind of sketchy, like you're going to get set up, right? So he loved the fact that we're there.
Whispering, you know what they say?
Yeah, what they say.
Exactly.
And what niggas speak Japanese? You know how much of a gateway it is? You know how much of, like, an asset, a gateway into, like, so much business shit that's... So that was, so anyways, this is actually a whole tangent story. I'm horrible with this. This is a whole tangent story that, like, wasn't even part of the point. Well, a few weeks ago, I hadn't seen Vic in years, and I'm on the way to Junction Studio, you know Dawson Street.
No, Dawson.
And I'm finishing the mural up there, and I get a call from Vic. And he goes, yo, I'm in town. I go, I'm headed to Junction. Go finish my meal. He goes, I'm headed to Junction. Go finish, like, go work in the street. I was like, no fucking way. He goes, yeah, bro, we gotta catch up. And Vic always has some of the dopest energy. He would call me like, Durag, they're the god, Durag god. Like, he's just one of those, like, real people like that. And so anyways, I'm there, you know, what ended up being crazy is he took a sample song of Busta Rhymes sped up. Well, guess what? On the way to the studio, I played a Busta Rhymes song but slowed down. So I go up to him, and I'm like, yo, Vic, usually I wouldn't, you know, kind of step on the process of the song, but I feel compelled to share the fact that out of all the songs we have, all the samples you could pick, I was listening to the same song but slowed down. You know, it gets out, you know what I mean? You gotta be careful, because to, like, change the complete opposite thing is kind of crazy, right? So anyways, I like very respectfully tell him, hey, I just so happen to be listening to the same Busta Rhymes song but slow down. You know, would you mind be opening to, like, you know, just kind of like, at least take, like, a note on it. And so, of course, we known each other like 7-8 years, so he did. And sure enough, like, he ended up going with the idea. But then I stepped away from the studio session, and what I wasn't realizing is he brought, like, good music managers with him. So I, like, came in, gave a recommendation, and I wasn't stepping on toes. I stepped back, I went out to the other room, I started working on the you know, my mural, the print, whatever shit. Then I come back to another thing. I'm nerding out on manufacturing and printing techniques, because I'm like, well, dye sublimation is better because the particles go into the fabric versus laying on top, because, like, spending the time in Asia, I really knew how fabric was really, really made. And so I guess there's a girl hiding in the back paying attention to all this. Well, the next morning I'll get a call from Malik Youssef, who's Ye's right-hand man, like his writer since college dropout days. And he was like, yo, would you open to be collaborating? And I'm like, well, like collaborate, like, what does that mean? I'm like, well, sure, because you're fucking Ye's right-hand man, whatever you're asking, I'm gonna say yes if, you know what I mean? Like, so he flies out here from Chicago. It was actually crazy, because instead of meeting up somewhere, I'm like, yo, just come to my crib. I was like, let me just make this completely different, make it personal, you know what I mean? Like, personal, more authentic. And we completely ended up vibing out. It was like, I even told him, I was like, yo, he was like my dad, and my dad's from Chicago, so it was just really comfortable, it was super dope. A couple days later, they weren't really telling me, so we sitting down, and I was like, well, what do you need? He's like, well, I want to take cut up clothing, old shit, and I want to retake it into, the first thing we gotta do is Don Tolliver's Hearthstone Cycle, but I want to put it in his silhouettes, and I'm like, okay, so what do you need my help for? I'm like, this, y'all can do it. And he's like, well, I just need like a creative person to oversee it with me. And I was like, okay. So they didn't really tell me the whole time. They had no exact words. Then 2 days later, they sent me an agreement, and it's for fucking creative director. Now keep in mind that this was the fashion firm that they were doing with Virgil Abloh. And they hadn't found a creative director since he passed. So the first meeting we get on a group call, and this shit was like heavy. You know, I'm like, it's emotional. And it was like, yo, this, everyone, I want you to meet Durag Dev. This is who's coming in as our new creative director. And I was just like, as a designer, there's no bigger shoe to fill than that. So I was beyond fucking humbled. You know what? I was tripping out because I wasn't even tripping out. I was like, either this is so crazy that like I'm completely numb and it hasn't soaked in, or they actually said to me, because I admitted it to them, they said, no. They said, you were just destined to do this. And I was like, damn, that's like actually like the other way to think of it. Instead of like, okay, this is so weird, I'm just numb, da-da-da. They said, no, think about it the positive way. Think about you're so cool because this was already destined for you. And it's just filling into something you're supposed to be doing. So it turns out that Malik mentored Virgil as well. And Malik was the guy that brought Virgil to Ye. And 2 weeks before all this, I asked who's Virgil's manager, and I ended up making an agreement with his mentor in life. We'll see what happens from here.